till the midnight sky, burning high. Under blazing skies, we won't fall. In the electric neon night, we stand tall.
Blue flag, blue flag.
Welcome back to Blue Flag Bandits, the series that takes us through F1's worst teams since 2010 and tries to bring just a little bit of glory to them. And it is time for round number 3, Malaysia, Sepang. A track that hasn't been on the calendar for quite some time, and one that I'm actually quite looking forward to driving again. It's been a hot minute. But let's take a quick look at the standings before we get into talking about the 2010 Malaysian Grand Prix and the track itself. We remain with just the solitary point that we picked up in Bahrain in round 1 after being brought down to earth with quite the bump in Australia, qualifying outside the top 10. Fighting for 9th at one point with Michael Schumacher's Mercedes before picking up a puncture and then copping front wing damage late on, finishing 15th, actually behind one of the HRTs of Bruno Senna, but they didn't score points. So we slip to 13th, but we still have 1 point, which is one more than Virgin Racing managed in real life. While at the top, Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber level on points, battling it out for the title. In the Constructors, we slip to 8th again, having not scored a point in Australia, but we're still ahead of HRT and Lotus, along with BMW, Sauber and Toro Rosso. While at the top, a 43-point gap between Red Bull and McLaren, with Ferrari just in behind as well. So Malaysia then, a circuit, as I say, has not been on the calendar in real life for quite some time, but in 2010 was a staple of the calendar and a circuit that a lot of people want back. So let's get into it and talk a little bit about what happened in 2010. So then, the 2010 Malaysian Grand Prix at the wonderful Sepang circuit. Practice, much like had been most of the season, saw McLaren and Red Bull topping the timings, although a lot of drivers, including Virgin Racing's Timo Glock, found themselves sideways or off. Only saving grace for them though, practice sessions were mostly dry. It was qualifying where the traditional rain showers came and caused chaos for everybody. In Q1, Hamilton, Massa and Alonso found themselves caught out and were eliminated, and in Q2, Jenson Button, who just about made it through Q1, decided not to set a time, knowing that the conditions were just not quite right for him. It was Mark Webber that took pole position after a switch to intermediate tyres. Once a later rain delay in Q3 had passed, he finished ahead of Nico Rosberg and the other Red Bull of Sebastian Vettel. That chaos did look to have benefited all the new teams though. Timo Glock managed to get through to Q2 for the first time, but he was followed through by Kovalainen in the Lotus, and in the end was beaten by that Lotus, Timo Glock finishing 16th, Kovalainen just ahead in 15th. Bad weather though couldn't help Lucas Di Grassi and the other Virgin Racing, as he found himself 24th and last. Much like the previous round in Australia though, Virgin Racing benefited from another freebie as Pedro de la Rosa's BMW didn't make the formation lap due to an engine failure.
That lap put you at the top of the table.
Those drivers who'd started further back, the likes of Hamilton, Alonso and Massa, all made moves immediately. Hamilton passed nearly a car a lap to be in the top 10 by lap number 4, while the Red Bulls were busy fighting away at the front. It was a breathless race, overtakes everywhere, drivers making moves pretty much every lap, every corner. It was a hell of a lot of fun to watch back. But Vettel managed to take the victory from Webber and was followed along by Rosberg, who took Mercedes' first podium since their return to Formula 1. As for the three new teams, Lucas de Grassi took Virgin Racing's first finish of the season in 14th, which ended up being his high point of the year, just ahead of Bruno Senna and Karud Chandok's HRTs. They were, however, all 3+ laps down, meaning they were classified behind Fernando Alonso, whose engine failed on the penultimate lap, and Timo Glock didn't make it past lap 3 after a collision with the Lotus of Jarno Trulli. All in all, a not brilliant day for the new teams, but the plus point of de Grassi finishing, meaning Virgin Racing finally could say that they'd finished, but it still wasn't quite enough to overhaul HRT or Lotus in the constructors on countback. What are we looking for here? Australia wasn't great. It was a bit of a rough one, really, wasn't it? After that puncture. It's quite a power circuit, Sepang, and it's one I've not really driven a lot. You're basically witnessing the first times I've wheeled around it in F1 for many a year, basically since it's been removed from the calendar. So, if it stays dry, which I think it will, let's aim for just into Q2 and say 17th place is our aim. Alright then, here we are, qualifying in Sepang. Teams say 20th or above. I think we're
Let's fire up the engine.
maybe a little undercooked here. Just trying to get everything sort of back into muscle memory. As I said right back at the start, this is a circuit that's not been on the calendar for
Don't
quite a while.
forget to turn the limiter off. You've moved up to 16th.
It was the kind of lap I needed. Full concentration through it.
1 minute to go.
Jump Sebastian Buemi could have been a lot better, I think. His laps starting or ending with a drift around the final hairpin.
Just 30 seconds left in the session.
If I can get that last corner right this time, I might net myself another couple of tenths. Just edge our way to safety. The rest of the lap hasn't been great though. Flag is out. I know I've got Kovalainen and Senna behind me. Maybe just ahead as well. And use a little bit of the toe.
Great job. We're through to qualifying 2.
We move up to 13th. Still 2.6 off the leaders, but that's something. That's the kind of lap you'd want to make yourself absolutely safe. Senna, Kobayashi, Chandok, Kovalainen, de Grassi, Della Rosa and Trulli will all be sitting out the rest of qualifying and will make it through to Q2, while the McLarens lead the way at the front.
Starter up, car to track.
Into Q2 then. Feeling like Q3 is very far beyond us here. The only absolutely perfect lap was the last one in Q1.
Don't forget to turn the limiter off.
cleanest turns 1 and 2, but we're okay. The neatest I think I've been throwing that double right-hander. A little drifty through there, still not really finding the right line through that penultimate corner. This is a part of the circuit I'm probably going to struggle to keep people behind on. I'm in the 36s, we're in the 38s.
You're currently on the first row of the grid.
In Q2.
That's the end of the session. We're 14th on the grid. Congratulations, mate. A few more places and we'd have achieved a top 10 start.
14th. We're slipping ever further back as the races go on in qualifying. But we're there with Massa, of all people. Liuzzi, Al-Ghashwari, Hulkenberg, Barrichello and Buemi. The usual suspects in the top 10 there, although I'd say that Sutil is probably the one you wouldn't expect and has got through at the expense of Felipe Massa, but hopefully we can move forward in the race and stay forward. So here we are then, race time at Kuala Lumpur. You find us in the pits, starting in 14th position after a solid qualifying effort, I'd say, considering the complete lack of muscle memory I've got for driving Kuala Lumpur in Formula 1. Let's take a quick look at the top of the order though. Hamilton from Button, Vettel, Webber, Kubica, Schumacher, Rosberg, Alonso, Sutil, Petrov is how the top 10 ended up. We were out in Q2 with Massa, Liuzzi, Al-Ghashwari, Hulkenberg, Barrichello and Buemi. And then the 2 Saubers, the 2 Lotus, the 2 HRT and the other Virgin racing car down at the bottom, Senna, Kobayashi, Chandok, Kovalainen, Di Grassi, Della Rosa, Trulli. What's the hope here then? We made Q2, which is what I was hoping for. We're right in the middle of the pack. It's a tight first couple of corners. The AI do have a propensity to crash. That has happened on a few occasions. I'm conservatively going to say that P12 is our target. I don't want to push overly hard to try and hit that top 10, because I think if I do, we may find ourselves making the same mistakes we did in both Bahrain and Australia, and at a circuit that obviously still working out the kinks on in terms of driving aggressively. So let's say P12, try and make a couple of places and see if we can steal a couple more. But let's go, shall we? 28 laps of Sepang.
Car to track. Move it, guys.
McLaren's up at the front. There's me in 14. Di Grassi 22nd, at least he's not on the back.
So last race we finished in mid-table. Not bad, but not brilliant. I'm sure we can do better here.
Starts pretty good. Seeing a bit of carbon fibre immediately as Barrichello goes past. Chandok is going flying through. Just got to try and find some space, being forced to the outside. The car's bumping and banging. We go for a little drift. The HRTs have got away beautifully. We've been pushed down to 17th and we've got Trulli on our inside.
that position, think about how to get it back.
A bit like that, as finally the HRT is beginning to go backwards. A bump between me and Bruno Senna. Bruno managed to finish ahead of me last time out. But on the outside of Karun Chandok.
You've taken 15th.
To where we started, we get right up behind Barrichello, which really compromises our exit. There's the front already breaking away. No position from where we
Go
started.
for the overtake. Go for the overtake.
We're getting our line sort of right there, trying to pass the Spaniard, but it's just the pace differential. That's going to really cost us staying here today. A little bit on the curve, got wide. There's a car going in. I'd assume that's Hulk, who I think knocked a bit of his front wing off on me as he came off the line. Back in the days when there were no start lights on Formula 1 games, you had to sort of guess. For that one, I've just got them turned off for no other reason. Schwari again, going defensive.
Brakes and tyres are at optimal temperature.
Being about all over the place and having to back out with it to avoid contact. Save the drift, block out the Schwari. Shades of PK Senna at Hungary in '86 there. 3 rounds into the series, you may be asking why there've been no replays, no replay footage from other cars' point of view. Simply put, the replay functionality in this game is quite basic. You can ride with any of the onboard or chase cams or the off-board broadcast cam, but only ever for your car. So, rather than saving the entire replay for maybe 2 things that you will have seen just from this point of view, rather than a broadcast or chase point of view, save the replays for when they get a little bit more advanced in a few games' time and we can really start to explore what else is going on. The AI also, while they do make mistakes and have incidents, as we've seen as we're driving through all that debris in Bahrain back in round 1, not as unpredictable as it seems in terms of how they drive and what goes on during a race. So again, wait for them to just advance a little bit more, as Barrichello seems to really be struggling through that double right-hander. He was right up with the Force India ahead of him. The second time today we get right up behind him into that hairpin. Currently clear of the Toro Rosso, so that's something. Exactly where we started at the moment now, as everybody begins to spread out a little bit. It's India in 12th, just up the road. I can see him. That's our target. Let's try and...
We've had a look and we think Adisswanto is due to pit within the next 5 laps.
try and catch up to them as I get a little bit of info from Rob, the engineer. Bouncing across the grass there. This seems to be the corner the AI struggle the most on. Right up behind that Williams again. Can we go in the outside of them at the hairpin? Yes, we can. I think we all avoid contact and
That's
get
5
through there.
positions up from where we expected to finish. Fantastic job.
Giving me the encouragement. On Adrian Sutil now, who is currently in our personal target position. Well, it would be lovely to finish in the points every round. I know that's not going to be possible.
Schumacher has just put in an amazing lap, a new fastest lap for the race.
Runs like that are going to cost us plenty of time. Cars in the pits
Weber's
though.
in first place.
Might be the McLaren of Jenson Button if Weber's taken the lead. Barrichello in now as well. Kubica went in too.
Brilliant overtaking. Nice job.
Schumacher just ahead. That's how far in front the leaders were, mate. Half drift. Around the hairpin, I've got to be careful of
Keep your head
that.
on the race. Give us 100% and we can get that place back.
The Schwari goes by. It's really a battle for position on the road. All cars have come in. I think Petrov was one of them. Very wide there.
Roger that. The
We're
pit
going
crew will
now.
be ready for you this lap.
Really struggling on the tyres. Going to slip back down the order.
Limiter on. Limiter on. Brake for the pit box.
Hopefully a lot of these guys still need to come in. A few of them maybe are coming in now. Like one of the Lotuses is coming in.
Exit now.
Down to 20th.
Don't forget to turn the limiter off.
Out ahead of Trillian Kovalainen, but not Rubens Barrichello. We'd got ahead of earlier in the race. He's undercut us by 8.6 seconds. That's quite bad. We pulled a fair amount of time back in on Barrichello, but that's just as everything cycles through in the pit stop window. But that's still a... That's not the line. That's still a fair amount of time to lose to him. Hopefully a few more people in front. Still need to pit. Degrassi's in now.
There's a Toro Rosso just in front of you.
Schwari made it out ahead of us as well. It's unfortunate for us. Rain feeling more and more like a flash in the pan as these races go by. So Chandok's in. Are we going to get at least past Karun Chandok? We are not. Oh, that's not good. Behind the HRTs for the second race in a row, and I've got De La Rosa with me as well.
De La Rosa should be coming into the pits within the next 5 laps.
He's not pitted yet. Now I've got to go chasing after Karun Chandok. Be losing lots of time in the
Ferrari
pit
are ready
stops.
for a pit stop. One of their drivers is coming in.
That was a little cheeky, a little close, but we got by.
Button's out in front.
Next up, Kamui Kobayashi. Obviously we can reel him back in. We're, as I said, slipping down the order in qualifying race to race, and it seems to be the same in the races at the moment as well. Buemi in the pits there, we will jump back in front of Sebastian Buemi.
That's pretty good. We're a place above where we expected to be.
Obviously only want 18th, we started 14th. I was hoping for 12th, but not at half distance yet, there's still time. What if I do that though? Chandok now with me. Gone for it being right-hander there. Managing to defend the position, but he's going to have Buemi all over him. It's De La Rosa actually. Now I'm between the two Sabres. Team that at some point in the future of this series, as long as we get there, we'll be driving for, probably on a couple of occasions. Oh, that's terrible. Where the hell am I going? De La Rosa was going in, but he actually just went right round the inside of me.
That position, put it behind you, and keep the pressure on him.
I'd go around the outside at 1 so I could switch him back at 2, but hasn't worked out. Running along early, so heading in soon. Due to him, what I did to Chandok.
That's 17th place. You've moved up to 17th.
Seconds up the road, Kobayashi. I think that might be insurmountable with the way that I'm driving. For anyone who got into Formula One in more recent years and has seen a field spread that hasn't been massive, or even the likes of Alpine, Williams, AlphaTauri, Sauber when they've been down at the back, haven't been a million miles away from the cars around them. This is the reality of Formula One in 2010. 3 new teams in particular. Drift from pretty much everybody else, with the exception of maybe a Sauber or an underperforming Williams. That for me is hopefully going to be the beauty of this series, that we do pull off a result. And while it was great to do it on debut in Bahrain and nick that P10 and that solitary point, the reality a lot of the time is going to be just trying to stay ahead of HRT and Lotus, at least in this first season. I've heard me mention earlier in the season, in one of the first couple of races, that the plan to stick with the worst teams, the bottom of the pile of the constructors every season, has been sort of tweaked to give a bit of variety, else it would be Virgin, Manama, Russia, one season with Lotus Catering. And then bouncing between Williams and Sauber for a lot of time. Obviously for HRT, while they only lasted a couple of seasons, they were widely regarded as having one of the worst cars ever in 2011, not just 2010, but definitely 2011. But by virtue of just continuing to stay on track and not really have a huge number of reliability issues compared to their nearest rivals, they managed to finish ahead of Lotus and Virgin on a number of occasions in the few years that they existed, which meant that on countback, having the best
Ferrari
result.
are readying for a pit stop. One of their drivers is coming in.
The best result on countback would place them in the constructors above those teams. Wasn't enough to save them, but only enough to stop them from being bottom of the pile. So
Webber's out in front.
while the three new teams all exist, we'll be trying to bounce between them. None of them scored points until Jules Bianchi and Monaco much later down the line, so they are all joint worst. Maybe they to start with the Virgin Racing team. Wide out of the hairpin.
There's some gravel on your tyres. Be aware your tyres will have less grip until it's removed.
Letting Karun Chandok range up to the back of me. Barrichello's only just pit, or he's pit again, but we're that far off the back of the Williams that we have managed to get away from us. Possibly the latter. I feel Barrichello went in early. Oh, the half spin, the double half spin, the save. Through goes Chandok.
Stay with him, stay with him. He might make a mistake and we can regain the place.
Unless there are some cars near enough by, are going to either pit again or still need to pit. This P17 is all we're fighting for. Chandok struggling all over the place though. At least managed to get back past him. Haven't been lapped in a race yet. I do feel like it's coming. We're quite the distance behind Webber, minute and 7, and it's a minute 40. Still about 10 laps left of this one. Even Degrassi's not far behind us here. Very wide through there.
The tyres have picked up some marbles. Keep to the racing line if possible and wear them off.
Actually really struggling to keep the HRT behind me. I'm not driving very well. Really trying to be careful through the hairpin at the end of the lap. Barrichello's a lost cause up ahead. Wanted me to finish 18th if I can at least hold 17th. I'll have at least beaten that target. Even if not beaten my own. wide there. That's classed as corner cutting. I'm not entirely sure myself, but sure thing, game. There's Trulli pulling in just behind us. Minute 14 between me and Mark Webber. 7 seconds in 2 laps. I was expecting to be shown that blue flag icon. At the moment, the only saving grace we have championship-wise is that we did pick up that point in Bahrain. We were beaten by HRT in the last race by Bruno Senna, and we could still find ourselves behind one of them today. The grass on the inside. Trying to get as much out of the car as I can. So very easily be caught and passed by Karun Chandok here. That happens. I don't feel like I've got the confidence here to get him back. Keep Lucas at arm's length. Rest another spin.
You've some marbles. Expect reduced grip until you can wear them off.
There goes I was going to say, there goes Chandok. He's alongside me. Picked up wing damage. Give him a bit of a squeeze. A little robust defence, but enough. I'm getting really squirrely under power. We're coming around the final corner to start the last lap of this one. A bit like Australia before. It's been a rather chastening experience where really struggling to keep pace with everybody as Webber does come across the line not far behind us. Still partly down to my driving, that's for sure, but we've made a couple of mistakes as I make another one. Haven't had as major a couple of mistakes as we did in Bahrain and Australia. No damage, no massively down the order after a spin. Is now a bit of an issue. Chandok is going to possibly get an attack in before the end of this one. He's been able to set a decent lap in qualifying and then struggle to maintain that pace through the race. Still beat the team's objective of 18th, but will be some distance off our own objective of 12th. We're going to have to start setting those sights a bit lower, I think. We can round the final corner in Malaysia to take 17th. The best weekend.
That was a good, solid drive. Well done.
So there we are then, 17th position, but ahead of both Lotus, both HRTs, one of the Toro Rossos, one of the Sabres, and our teammate. Degrassi, Boemi, Kovalainen, Trulli and Senna do see the blue flags. De La Rosa manages to avoid it. So we finish best of the new teams, at least, for the second time of 3 races this season. Up at the top, Webber took the win by 1.5 seconds from Hamilton. Alonso finished third with Vettel in 4th, Rosberg in 5th. Button slipped all the way back to 6th. Massa recovered well to 7th. Sutil 8th. Hulkenberg 9th. And Michael Schumacher 10th to round out the points. In the driver's standings, we remain 13th, still holding on to that solitary point, but slipping further behind the likes of Petrov and Hulkenberg ahead of us. But still ahead of both Sabres, both HRTs, both Lotus, both Toro Rossos, and the far more experienced Rubens Barrichello. Bruno Senna, the second best of the new drivers with his results so far. While at the top, Webber gets into a bit of a lead, 13 clear of Sebastian Vettel, with Fernando Alonso in 3rd, Hamilton 4th and Button 5th. Massa holds on to 6th after battling back from that low grid spot. In the Constructors, we remain 8th, still ahead of Sauber, Toro Rosso, HRT and Lotus, but only a couple of points now behind Williams still, after Hulkenberg added another couple to their tally. At the top, Red Bull bypassed the 100-point mark, and well, pulling ever so much further away from McLaren, who are just ahead of Ferrari and Mercedes a bit further back there. That was Malaysia, 17th place after a 14th place start. It is now becoming more difficult as the races go on, but next up is China, a circuit that we returned to in real life in 2024 after a couple of years out, so we have had the opportunity recently to drive the place, and as far as I remember, there aren't any major changes to the layout. So hopefully a better result? Question mark. Join us for round 4 in China. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Have a great rest of your day wherever you are. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Take it steady.